Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Musical Mondays, where each week I talk about a new show from the world of musical theater. This week's musical is Annie. Annie is special to me because I was in a production of it at the Loft Community Theater when I was in high school, and I designed the costumes for a local middle school production here in Rhode Island last year. Broadway musical Annie was based on the popular Harold Gray comic strip Little Orphan Annie. The show has music by Charles Strouse, lyrics by Martin Charnin, and book by Thomas Meehan. Now this leads us into our plot. The show Annie follows the story of the little orphan Annie. The show starts in an orphanage run by the wicked Mrs. Hannigan. Annie decides to escape and try to find her parents. Unfortunately, she's unsuccessful. However, back at the orphanage, Grace Farrell invites her to spend some time with the millionaire, Oliver Warbucks. At first, Daddy Warbucks is disappointed that Annie is a girl and not a boy, but he grows to love her, and he eventually ends up adopting her. The original Broadway production opened in 1977 and ran for nearly 6 years. Since then, the show has been produced in many countries, including 4 West End productions, including 3 revivals. The show was revived on Broadway in 1997 and in 2012. The show features classics such as Tomorrow, It's a Hard Knock Life, Little Girls, and You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile. The musical has 3 film adaptations. The 1982 production had Eileen Quinn as Annie, Albert Finney as Daddy Warbucks, Carol Burnett as Miss Hannigan, Tim Curry as Rooster, and Bernadette Peters as Lily St. Regis. At the time it was released, Annie was the most expensive musical ever made, clocking in around $40 million. The 1999 film saw Victor Garber as Daddy Warbucks, Alicia Morton as Annie, Audra McDonald as Grace, and Kathy Bates as Miss Hannigan. The 2014 production had Quvenzhané Wallis as Annie, Jamie Foxx as Will Stacks, or Daddy Warbucks, Rose Byrne as Grace, and Cameron Diaz as Miss Hannigan. The original production was nominated for 11 Tony Awards and won 7, including Best Musical. The show also won Best Cast Album at the Grammy Awards in 1978. The original Annie was played by Andrea McArdle. Annie has made several pop culture appearances since its arrival in 1977, including episodes of Full House, 30 Rock, The X-Files, You've Got Mail, Just Like Heaven, The Drew Carey Show, Survivor Africa, School of Rock. It even made an appearance in 2 Super Bowl ads. The writers of the show saw a downbeat in our country during the Nixon era and the Vietnam War, which is why they decided to set the show during the Depression era in the 1930s. This is also why I wanted to talk about this musical now, because I think it similarly mirrors the time we are in today. But what we can learn from Annie is that the sun really will come out tomorrow. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Musical Monday. Tune in next week for another musical. Hi everyone, I do just want to do a little disclaimer on this video. I know some people have requested wanting to hear me sing, and I appreciate that. I am currently in the process of trying to figure out how that works with copyright. So if you have done this before and know what I'm talking about and have any tips and tricks, please let me know. Let's see what we have. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of props. It's going for real this time, homies. Alright. West End. 1, 2, 3. What am I going to say? Why is this so weird? I'll just do the plot last. Downbeat mood, they say. Some knockouts. Wow. Okay. 6 days ago. Wow. Okay. It's topical, people. It's topical.